Hello, it's the Randy Duck and welcome back for another video. Today we're continuing the videos in the new Warhammer 40k tanks. Today we have a replay in the tier 10 heavy tank, the Leman Russ, which is the Imperial Guard Warhammer tank. Now, firstly, we'll just go on the looks. It looks, yeah, it is what it is. I think I'm just going to let you make your own mind up on that. I think if you're really into your Warhammer 40k, you're probably going to love it. If not, you're going to think, this looks a little bit weird. But yeah, so we've got 3 replays today, and what I'm going to do before we get on to the replays is, again, because it's a new tank, I'll just briefly go over it, and it's more of a summary, and then we will just get into the gameplay, and I can just show you how it actually works. So it's a tier 10 Mercenary heavy tank. It's got 500 alpha, which is nice. It's got the standard rounds, it only has 232 penetration, which is not great. But the premium APCR rounds has 304 penetration, which is good. It's got 2,500 hit points. And the armour on this tank, obviously it is a heavy tank, it's actually very, very good until it's not, almost. Very much like the Type 5. Very, very good armour, can bounce a hell of a lot of shots until the enemy starts pushing A, firing the heat and the premium rounds at you, and then they're going to be able to pen you. But you can bounce a lot of shots. I mean, the weak points on this tank, if you look at the side of the tank, it's got these 2 guns on the side, which aren't actually guns, they're just there for show, but they are hit points, and they are actually the weak points of the tank. So if you're struggling to pen them, you can aim for there, and you should be able to try and penetrate it. But the armour can bounce a lot of shots, especially now where people are still figuring out how to pen it. It has 7 degrees of gun depression. It's got a top speed of 35 kilometers an hour. Got decent view range, pretty much right up there with all the other tier 10 heavies. And that's it for a summary of the tank. I think it's easier just to get into the gameplays, and I can just show you how it works. So I'll stop rambling on and let's get to it. Okay, so let's get started then with replay number 1. So we are here on Pilsen, which is a good map for a heavy tank. There is 1 enemy light tank in the game, and there is 1 enemy fun police. We're going to try and, from this spawn, initially push up to the warehouse building, if you like to call it that, in the front, and then just see what we spot. Try and work out what we're going to do from there. I'm just going to take the centre position, basically, and then we can figure out where the enemy tanks are. Where we're going to get the shots, where are we going to get the damage. But initially this is going to be my starting position for this spawn. So as we approach, we're looking to see if we can get a shot in the crosshair, but we get spotted and actually targeted, so we're trying to work out where that's from. We take a cheeky blind shot just in case. I mean, I think I would have spotted them, but now I'm pretty sure that there is a tank on the other side behind the trains in this corner. You see where I'm looking down there now. Around that area is where I'm pretty sure something spotted me from. So either a light tank or a bat chat or something which is good camo and obviously quick, because it got there right off the back of the spawn, because I got spotted very, very early. So I'm going to push forward and see if I can try and detect this tank, try and find out what it is, see if we can get any shots. And we do spot it, and it is an enemy bat chat. So we're going to look to see if we can get any shots, any damage on this bat chat. Now, I probably actually should mention, I forgot, this tank, the gun is a little bit derpy, but it's going true for us there, and it's nice there. This is where the 500 alpha is quite nice. You see, slapping him for 528 is really nice. We hit him again, and we set him on fire on the escape, and now we're looking to see if we can get a finish before they manage to escape. Thankfully, gets tracked and then taken out by a friendly team, and that is a tier 10 bat chat out of the game straight away. Now, I'm side scraping in this corner, but this is one thing which this tank mate is not that great at, really, because you can see here on the left of this tank, on the 2 sides, you've got these 2 guns. Now, those guns are actually the weak points of the tank. So when you're side scraping, the enemy can actually get shots onto your weak spot before you're actually able to get shots onto the enemy team. So that is something you should bear in mind. So now I'm trying to angle slightly differently, so I'm making it harder to hit those spots and looking for some shots and some damage in return. So we're at a decent start to this game. Still got all hit points. We've got 1,600 damage of our own. At the moment, there is tanks for us to fight. We don't really feel the need to try and move to a different location just so early. We're just trying to work out, you know, see if we can get angles onto tanks. The enemy Death Star is there. Now, I could have shot there and penned. I went for the track wheel, which in hindsight was a mistake, because although I track him, he repairs it straight away. And it hasn't worked out for us. I probably could have just got a pen of damage there instead, but we do get a shot into that pattern, putting us under 2,100 damage. We're going to keep going to get for the shots, but a bit back in my mind, you know, I'm conscious that Death Star's there. Don't really want to get eaten a pen off that tank, so the second I see him coming around that corner, I'm going to pull back round into cover. Pattern comes up again. We actually managed to hit the cupola here. You know, I'm saying this tank's derpy. It seems to be the shots you're thinking I might miss, hit, and then the shots when you're fully aimed at someone's lower plate, then derps. You know, but that's just the way, isn't it? So we've now blocked 1,000 damage here. That pattern is really struggling to pen us. So I'm actually just going to look to see if we can try and get as many shots on this tank as we can. There is an Avery. He splashes us, but we're going to wait now. We're not going to shoot just yet. We're just waiting for the perfect moment till he goes down enough so we can hit directly on his lower plate and avoid hitting the spaced armour, because if you're shooting the Avery in the front, if you've not worked out yet, it has a lot of space armour. You can pen it through the lower plate, but you have to hit in between the space armour, and sometimes that's easier said than done if the tank's wiggling and making it hard for you to do so. But as it stood, I was able to penetrate its lower plate. We're then able to get the slimmest of shots into that enemy pattern there, putting us under 4,100 damage. Enemy Andre the Giant comes down both for the shot. If he does that again, we're hopefully going to be a bit more ready. We had a shot at the lower plate there, but it was an extreme angle, so it was a 50-50 pen at that angle. We bounced the first shot. We're going to go for a second one just in case, and this time it does pen. Putting us under 4,500 damage, 1,200 assistance, but this game is still very close. The enemy team are still 2 tanks up at the moment, and it's definitely a close game. That Death Star is still alive. And that is something I do need to be wary of. Jag Tiger comes around. We're not going to struggle to pen this tank. He bounces a shot. As I say, this armour, sometimes this armour can be amazing. It really can. You can bounce an awful amount of damage. Bounce another shot off the Andre the Giant. Unfortunately, get safe before we can get round for another shot. So far, I've been in the same position all game, but I've had shots all game. So there's never really felt like a moment for me to start to move. There's the derpiness of the tank. I don't fully aim that shot side onto the Andre the Giant. I could have aimed it a little bit longer and I would have penned it. Well, hopefully would have, but I also didn't want to, didn't want to expose myself as long as possible against the Andre, who was aiming in on us. But thankfully, he does bounce. We've now bounced another shot, putting us on almost 4,000 block there. Still a 7 versus 10, so you've got to be careful. But again, tanks are still presenting themselves shots to me. I'm looking to see if this Andre's going to come around again. We're going to get a shot into the lower plate there. Don't roll high enough to kill him, but we have put them onto a one shot now. 1,700 assistance, 5,600 damage. We're going to try and get the kill here onto the cupola, but he gets shut down by our friendly Leopard there in the background. Still now close, 7 versus 9, but our friendly teams are starting to move up on the other side. If I can just take out this enemy Death Star, then I can be able to move up a little bit further without the threat of that Death Star there. And then he gets taken out after we trapped him in place, which is brilliant. Now I can start to move forward. We get one into that enemy pattern, bringing it onto a 7 versus 7. So I'm starting to think about my decision of getting across there and getting right into the damage now, because if you look at our friendly team, they have moved up to engage down the sort of 4 line there. So that's 3 of the tanks I can see out of the fight, and I'm well, not out of the fight, but out of the fight to me. I need to move forward and just get into this damage. There's 4 tanks left. It was close, quite a close game all the way through, but just to the end there, we managed to pull through. And now this game's looking a lot more comfortable. I've still got 1,500 hit points. I can eat a shot. I'm trying to get one into that tank as it escapes. Nice shot there. There's the enemy fun police, which has just been spotted. We're looking to try and get a shot into that fun police as possible. We're going to eat the shot of that Jag Tiger now, because it gets spotted last minute, and I had the hit points to eat the shell. Wanted to make sure we landed that one onto the fun police, and now we should have to finish onto the lower plate, and it's just this fun police here in front of me, which we're hoping to see if we can get any shots in. He's got a lot of hit points. He had a lot of hit points, and now he's dead. And there's just one tank remaining, which unfortunately I'm not going to be able to get there. But we do end that game pretty strongly. So let's get to the scoreboard and see how we did. we managed to pick up 7,600 damage, 3 kills, 2,200 assistance damage, and 6,000 blocked. Only the first class, but still a decent game. We get the high caliber, but that's it for replay number 1. So let's move on to replay number 2. Okay, so here we are on Canis. Now there is one enemy fun police, but there is no enemy light tank in this game, which is always nice. So we do have to contend with the fun police, but we don't have to concern ourselves with any of the light tanks. Now initially I'm actually going to push I like to push the right hand side at the start to try and see if I can spot any tanks and get any damage there. I don't necessarily intend with staying in that position I'm going to. It's just I like to take it at the beginning, because you could, arguably I'm in a heavy tank, so I could push into the town, but I normally prefer for the tanks to start pushing through into our side of the town and then come through and battle them, so I don't have to be shot by TDs etc in the back, or get shot by the fun police at the initial start of the game. So I'm going to go for this side at the start, because this base I always find is pretty easy to defend, because it's right in the middle, so it's not like I'm going to be in danger of getting capped out. And when they push round the town, I can then push back round to engage them, because obviously when they push out the town they get shot by RTDs camping on our base hill. So I like to push to this side. Now nothing's really pushed around early, so a lot of the tanks are clumped up in this corner. I've got one shot in the medium, so I'm going to go and reload, and then I'm going to try and see if I can get another shot in. I won't ever push all the way around this corner. I'll see if I can get any shots from about here. Now at this point I'm not going to push any further, because what you have at the start of the game is you have a lot of tanks usually camping in their base, as well as in the fun police, and if you push all the way round you can then get shot and you're just caught in a crossfire. So I don't push all the way around into that engagement, but I get my initial pen. Now we've got some intel on the mini-map. We know there's a lot of tanks coming through the town, but we also know there's a lot of tanks clumped up in that middle. Our tanks are engaging them from the right hand side where I was, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to make the decision to push through the middle and try and battle them, because we are tanks down at the moment. Technically we are losing this game at the moment, but I want to try and create a second angle and put these tanks under pressure. The medium tank didn't know I was there, so we get one shot in, he bounces, he's now a 2-shot to us. I really need this tank just out of the game as quickly as I can, because I want to try and push around these tanks on the right hand side, but I can't really do so with that medium there, because he's just going to get easy shots into the rear of my tank if I just push out into the open there. So I really need to find a way to take this tank out. We've got one shot in, put him onto a one shot, but he's still, he's a one shot, but he's still got a gun. So I do have to confirm this kill. I need to try and find a kill. Thankfully for me, he tries to make a run for it, and then we pick up the kill. And now we can turn our attention to the heavy tanks and the tanks in this corner. Now we've got them kind of trapped there, if you like. So we're going to go look around and look for a shot. There's a one-shot medium here, but he's not an easy shot. I don't have a lot to aim for here. This tank is a little bit derpy. So I'm just going to ignore them until they present a better shot. We've got this enemy Russian heavy tank there. Obviously it's a pike-nosed heavy tank, so you don't want to shoot at the lower plate in that situation, because it's actually going to be more angled. You can just shoot at the flat space of the armour there when it's pike-nosed. I mean, when you're a pike-nosed tank, you almost want to be facing them frontally. In that scenario, we should be able to get another shot. We've got another one in, putting him onto a one shot. Unfortunately for me, the fun police is paying his attention to myself now, and that is awkward, because every time I'm sitting there I'm just going to get shot at. So I need to pick up the pace, especially considering the enemy team have won and broke through that town now. So that puts me under pressure. This tank is a one shot to us, but we low roll and hit him, leave him on 2 hit points, which is very frustrating, because I want to take care of that gun. He's now backing round into that tank destroyer, and I don't want to push into that tank destroyer, so I'm just going to push into this medium tank, this tier 8, and then hope that the M60 has to come for me. He does do that, and now he's come for me, because I can afford to lose a few hit points here. It's not the end of the world. I needed to kill these tanks quickly. So thankfully the M60 does get taken out for coming for me. Then kill the medium tank, but now I'm getting pushed by another heavy tank. I can afford to eat like one shot off that heavy tank, so I need to put this Jag Tiger onto a one shot, because that tank can one shot us. We got lucky, we bounced a shot there off of that heavy tank, so we're trying to pull back round, but then the fun police slaps us in the side and pens us while we're trying to have our fight. which is always frustrating because now we're on 300 hit points, and I'm kind of thinking I'm probably going to die in this situation, if I'm honest. You know, I'm expecting to die, but thankfully I managed to bounce a few shots, because this armour can be good. We're looking for the one-shot heavy tank. This heavy tank's ignored me, and I managed to get the kill. Now I need to get out of here, because I'm thinking Fun Police is just going to finish this job off at any moment. You see he's aiming in on me there. I've got the Fun Police marker on me, or I had. I need to try and get round these rocks so I can keep myself safe from the Fun Police. Lose my spot and now try and get back round. Here you go, he tries to finish this off. Not today, Fun Police. But now the rest of the team, apart from this medium tank I've seen I might be able to get a cross shot in, is in the town. So I'm going to try and see if we can finish off this medium tank. We're aiming, we're expecting it, and we do pick up the kill, picking up our 5th kill of the game, putting us on the 6,000 damage and around almost 5,000 block damage, I believe. Or even, maybe more, can't even read the numbers there. But there's only 3 tanks remaining. One is a Fun Police, I'm never going to make it to the Fun Police, but the other 2 is a mouse, which is fairly healthy at the moment, and another heavy tank, and they're fighting 2 one-shot friendly tanks here. So I'm trying to get over there as quickly as I can, because I want to try and get as much damage out of this game as possible. And by the looks of it, I may actually be able to get there, because our friendly 3 got taken out by the Fun Police. And yeah, he's just fighting a one-shot heavy here at the moment. So I'm hoping I can get there and get some more damage before it gets evaporated by our friendly Fun Police, who does get a shot in there, putting them onto a potential one-shot, an unlikely one-shot, but possible. And we're going to look to see if we can get a shot into that tank. He is now a definite one-shot to us. It's just whether we can get there in time to pick up the kill. We do pick up that kill, confirming our 6th kill and Top Gun. There's 1 enemy heavy tank remaining. He's here somewhere. He gets a shot. It doesn't roll high enough to kill us, and we just in time managed to get there to pick up 2 kills and confirm the Devastator medal. So that is it for replay number 2. Let's see how we did. We got 7 kills, picking up the Devastator, 6,500, 300 assistant, and 5,000 blocked there. And the high caliber and the steel wall. So yeah, that's it for replay number 2. As you can see, the armour, it can work. You can bounce a lot of shots in this tank, and that 500 alpha gun, I quite enjoy playing it. I actually quite like having that big hard hitter there. So let's move on to the final replay of the video. Okay, so we're back again for the final replay, and we are back again on Pilsen. But this time in a different spawn from the different spawn layout from the first video. So we're going to push into the town, and hopefully we can get into a brawl. Now there is no enemy Fun Polices to contend ourselves with. There's 1 enemy light tank, but it's not such a big deal on a map like this. We're looking to try and get into the fight as quick as we can. Now we do take a little bit of a risk there. Sometimes you can get punished for crossing like that. And I could have crossed a lot safer, but I just took the risk to try and get there. I had a good spawn. I wanted to get into the position as quickly as I possibly could. So we're trying to move around into this position. We've already noticed that this Aviary here on our left on the mini-map has pushed too far. And hopefully I can actually push into a position to shoot this tank in the back. Now this is the problem if you overcommit from that spawn into this position. You can then, if someone does this, I've now got easy shots. Could have gone for the track wheel there to track them in place. I just didn't want to risk them moving last minute. I was just going to make sure I get the easy damage. And we're going to go again, just making sure we get the kill. We do have an enemy heavy tank moving behind us though, so we need to try and get safe from that. So we're going to just reverse around into this corner, and now suddenly I'm actually in a good position to deal with this tank, because I've got this big rock in front of me. The enemy tanks can't really push behind me because you can see how much cover I've got on my friendly tanks there. So I'm actually in a really nice position to deal with these tanks in front of me. So we get another shot there into the TD. We're looking to try and get on reload, see if we can track this tank in place, because the way they're angling there, we can actually pen and track the tank in place, and that pays off. We get a little bit of extra track assistance there. We're going to go for it again, re-tracking them into position. Now on reload, we might pick up a bit more track assistance, or if we're lucky, we might be able to reload and get the kill ourselves. And we do manage to do that, killing that guy, putting up a first tank. Very nice start to the game. We've got 3,000 damage, 1 kill, 500 assistance, and we haven't lost any hit points at this stage. 11 v 11, still very even, but you know, that's sort of the perfect start of the game we're looking for. So we're now going to move up. We can see this enemy Budgetto here is full health. We have a quick look to the right, see if there's anything there. But we're just going to poke up now. Like I say, we can afford to eat a shot at this stage of the game. We get one in there to the medium. We're hoping to get another one in, but he just gets absolutely annihilated and then finished off by our friendly Badger. We're now looking for a shot onto this Badger, but I don't know why. Looking back at this, I'm like, why am I being so stupid? There's an enemy Death Star there. I could have just shot the Death Star, and in return I got shot by him, but I also get lucky that he was firing the Hesh and not the AP, and I only lose 400 hit points. So it all ends well in the end. The enemy team have now taken full control on the other side. So what I'm going to do is push into the warehouse, get up and close in the front of the warehouse, and from there I might be able to try and get some shots. There is an enemy medium tank here on the right. Leopard is running. I'm going to wait, aim my shot, see if I can get a nice shot in there, and we do pick up the kill straight through the disruptible cover, confirming ourselves our second kill of the game, putting us onto 4,300 odd damage. And now we should need to see if we can get any shots from this position here. We do have an enemy medium tank on our right. We're looking to try and get any shots on that sharpshooter. They back up and present themselves a shot, but that's not really happening. I'm trying to find any shots here. The Valor's hold down, I can't pen that from that situation unless he overextends. And I'm just trying to find any shots because it's you know, we're 3 tanks up, but this game's not won. You know, the enemy teams still have the other side of the map. They're on the ridge. You know, they could make it awkward for us. So yeah, I don't want to just full send in the open or do anything silly yet. You know, I want to keep my tank in the game. We're still healthy on the hit points here. We're going to look to try and get a shot into that medium tank. Unfortunately, he does pen me because I was side on through that destructible cover. I'm waiting to see if he pokes again, but he's wised up to the fact that I'm hard aiming. He's not being silly. He's trying to bait a shot from us so we can, but I'm trying to wait to see if I can get any opportunity to take a shot. I need a bit more than that, but I tried to gamble on that shot, pull back into cover because I have now got light tanks here on the left hand side. We're going to try and get a shot into this light tank. The light tank's going to struggle to pen us from this distance, if I'm honest. You see him bouncing there. He's going to have a hard time. We're looking to see if we can get any more shots, but I think that light tank's either lost its spot and it's still sitting there, or it has run away. Sharpshooter comes around and getting pushed by a Jaggy 100 here and a sharpshooter. We do get a shot into the sharpshooter, putting him on a one shot. We're going to try and get a finish. We get the finish, and now it's just a 1v1. I'm just going to put myself behind this ruin here. Obviously, he can shoot through it, but it just makes it a little bit harder for him to get an easier shot onto us. So we're just going to just make it as hard as we can. While we're on reload, we're just going to rock sideways basically to try and make it as hard as he can to pen. He's now got behind the cover. Unfortunately, we should be able to pen this superstructure there, which we do, putting us under just over 6,000 damage. I'm in a good position here, to be honest with you, because my armour is actually really strong, and we're able to just get these kills. I get a massive high roll there for 550. He is a one shot to us now, so we're looking for the finish again, trying to squeeze in a shot on that superstructure, but he just baits that and turns at the wrong moment, so we're not able to get the kill. And he's making it a little bit awkward for me to find that finishing shot there. And yeah, as I say, I'm just getting a bit, trying to find this shot. We're going to see we should be able to pen that, but unfortunately it doesn't actually hit where we want to. Now I'm just going to ignore him. I can eat a shot off him if I can, because I want to try and kill this medium tank. Thankfully I actually bounced that shot anyway, but I was prepared to eat the shot because it didn't really matter. We get the kill onto the medium tank. Now we're pushing through. We're hoping the TD stays alive for long enough for me to get the kill, but he doesn't. And it just leaves this one tank here. And now you see me shaking my barrel there because that was just a terrible shot by me, and I was frustrated that I was missing out on the fifth kill, which, you know, just by poor aim. But we're going to see if we get one last opportunity to see if we can get a shot in the light tank, and we do, thankfully, and we're able to finish that game strongly. So let's just get to the scoreboard so we can see how we did. We got 5 kills, 7,500 damage, 500 assistance, 4,600 blocked. Only the first class, still all high caliber. Now I feel like I could actually get some really big games in this tank, which I hopefully will do. But I've only got a limited time to get the replays on all these new tanks for you, and I haven't got as much time to play at the moment. So I've got these tanks out. Hopefully you enjoyed the replays. Yeah, if I manage to buy the tank once our yeah, I will get some more replays in the tank at a later date. But for next, I'm going to move on to try and get some more replays in the other 40k tanks. But as always, thank you so much for watching, and happy tanking.
Enemy in sight. Hadouken!